What if I told you the greatest battle in history didn't happen on Earth? It wasn't fought with swords or armies, in front of cheering crowds, or under the watch of powerful empires. No, the most decisive victory in the history of the universe happened in the unseen. It was waged in a realm where no human eye could look, and no human power could ever stand. Picture this: a tomb sealed, a massive stone rolled into place. Roman soldiers stand guard, their spears glinting in the torchlight. Their orders are simple. No one enters. No one leaves. Inside that cold, dark tomb, hope itself seems buried. In the eyes of the world, it was over. The movement was crushed, its leader dead and gone. Heaven itself seemed silent. But then, beneath the stillness of the ground, beyond the veil that separates our world from the next, something happened that shook eternity to its core. A low, distant rumble began, not of the earth, but from the very heart of it. Let's rewind just a little. We're at Golgotha, the place of the skull. The sky has turned an unnatural, terrifying dark. Jesus hangs on the cross. His body is broken, but his spirit is not. With a voice that is weak, yet rings with the finality of a king's decree, he says, "It is finished." With his last breath, the very ground heaves and shakes violently. In the temple, the massive veil separating the Holy of Holies from the rest of the temple is torn in two, from top to bottom, a divine sign that the way to God is now open. Graves split open. Even the hardened Roman centurion, a man who had seen death in all its forms, staggers back in awe and terror, declaring, "Surely this man was the Son of God." And then, silence. Jesus' head falls. The battle, it seems, is lost. As evening approaches, two brave men, Joseph of Arimathea and Nicodemus, work. In secret, racing against the setting sun and the start of the Sabbath, they gently take Jesus' body down from the cross. They wrap it in clean linen, generously anointing it with 100 pounds of myrrh and aloes, a burial fit for a king. Nicodemus, a man who once came to Jesus by night, now holds his lifeless hand in the fading light. "Forgive us," he whispers, his voice thick with grief. "We didn't understand." They lay him inside a new tomb, carved out of rock. A massive stone is rolled into place, sealing the entrance. The finality is crushing. The Roman seal is pressed into the wax, a symbol of the empire's absolute authority. To the world. This was the definitive end. But heaven knew it was only the beginning. Inside the pitch-black cold of the grave, the body of Jesus lies motionless, wrapped in spiced linens. And then, a flicker of light, not from the outside, but from within. Jesus' spirit, not his physical body, rises from his earthly vessel. It's a form glowing with a quiet, undeniable authority. He doesn't look up toward the heavens he just came from. He looks downward, and as it does, the very ground beneath him seems to become transparent, opening up a path into the heart of the earth. He descends. He arrives in Sheol, the realm of the dead. It's a vast, shadowy underworld, but it's divided. On one side is a place of torment, filled with shadows, chains, and anguish. Separating it is a great, impossibly, chasm. On the other side is a place of peaceful waiting, known as Abraham's bosom. It's filled with a warm, gentle light, where the righteous souls of the Old Testament have been waiting for centuries. Abraham, the great patriarch, stands tall, his ancient eyes fixed on the distance. The promise lay so softly, his voice filled with anticipation. Nearby, King David grips his harp. Could this be the day, he wonders, the day the Psalms he wrote would finally be fulfilled? Moses, the great lawgiver, lifts his staff, the air crackling with hope. Their long, patient wait is about to come to an end. But first, there is a confrontation to be had. Jesus descends deeper into the very throne room of darkness. Satan, the architect of sin and death, rises from a throne of obsidian, surrounded by his whispering legions of demons. A cruel, triumphant smile spreads across his face. It's over, he hisses, savoring his apparent victory. Death has won. But then, a sound echoes through the cavern. A sound that doesn't belong here. Footsteps. Slow. Heavy. Certain. The demons recoil as a brilliant light floods the suffocating darkness. Jesus steps forward, his presence radiating pure power. Satan's smile vanishes. "You failed," he snaps, trying to reassert his authority. "You're in my realm now. You're mine." But Jesus' eyes blaze with a fire that outshines all the flames of hell. His voice is calm, yet it thunders through the abyss. "I am he who lives and was dead, and behold, I am alive forevermore." At his words, the entire underworld shakes to its foundations. In that moment, Satan clutches a set of glowing keys, the very keys of hell and of death. "These belong to me," he screams, his power and dominion represented by those keys. But Jesus doesn't argue. He doesn't negotiate. He simply steps forward. With a roar like thunder, he reaches out and rips the keys from Satan's grasp. The transfer of authority is instantaneous and absolute. In that same moment, across the realm of the dead, chains of bondage explode into dust. The mighty gates of hell splinter into pieces. The iron bars designed to hold souls captive melt like wax in a fire. Satan himself collapses, utterly defeated, stripped of his power, his reign of terror broken. Jesus holds the keys, and with the same authority he displayed on the cross, he declares again, "It is finished." Now, the true rescue mission begins. Jesus turns from the defeated foe and directs his gaze toward Abraham's bosom. He looks upon the generations of Saints Abraham, David, Moses, Isaiah, Ruth, Esther, all the faithful who died in hope, awaiting this very day. His voice, filled with both divine authority and profound compassion, echoes across the chasm. "Come forth." Abraham steps forward first, his ancient face wet with tears. "My Lord," is all he can manage. King David, the warrior poet, drops to his knees, his harp falling silent. "You are the king I sang of, says in awe. The prophets rise. The righteous gather. Their wait was over. The promised one had finally come, not just to die for them, but to rescue them. He led captivity captive, opening the gates of paradise forever. And as Jesus leads this triumphant procession of redeemed souls upward, back on earth, the dawn of the third day is breaking. A new scene of victory is about to unfold. An angel of the Lord descends from heaven like a flash of lightning. The ground trembles as he approaches the tomb. With no effort at all, he rolls the massive stone away, as if it were a pebble. The Roman soldiers, these symbols of worldly power, are paralyzed by fear, collapsing to the ground like dead men. Inside the tomb, a miracle happens. The body of Jesus, which had lain cold and still, takes a breath. Life, divine and eternal, surges back into it. His eyes open. He sits up. The grave clothes fall away. He is alive. Bruised, yes, but victorious. The tomb is empty. Death has been defeated. So, what if I told you the burial was not the end but the battlefield? It wasn't a moment of defeat. It was a strategic invasion. The silence was not absence. It was the quiet before the storm. When you think about your own life, the shame that tries to bury you, the bondage that holds you captive, the past you can't escape, remember, Tees, you might feel like you're in your own personal hell, trapped and powerless. But he went deeper. He went lower than any depth you could ever face. And because he went lower, he rose higher than any power that could ever come against you. The same power that ripped the keys of death from Satan's hand, that shattered the gates of hell, and that brought life back into a cold tomb is alive in him today. When Jesus steps in, darkness has to flee. When the King rises, everything that held you captive must fall. His victory over the grave is your victory today. Thanks for watching. If this story stirred something in you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that explores the deeper truths of faith. See you next time.